5L, report regarding open air burning and associated complaints. Now, I'm sure all of us have received the odd complaint or two, particularly as we get into spring now and summertime. I know I've had several. I also got a couple of emails recently. I'm sure you might have as well. And Paul, we're not talking tonight here. This is just a report. We're not talking about banning or thinking about banning open air burning like a number of other communities, particularly in Southern Ontario. Are we?
Talking about an open air burn ban.
I guess he said no.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Would you be able to repeat? Can you put his mic on, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Through the acting mayor to Mr. Turco, no, this report didn't involve suggesting that we're going to ban open air burning entirely. I just added that in the report as a reference.
Has there been given any thought towards that through you, Mr. Acting Mayor?
Mr. Acting Mayor, no, we haven't. I mean, we looked at it. This report basically was intended to address the nuisance side of it, complaint side of it, so we didn't really go down that road.
In your report, you talk about, through you, Mr. Acting Mayor, open air burning permits and versus complaints. Fire service attended 71 complaints, with 402 having valid permit and 458 without any permit at all. To me, one of the emails I got, it says, Councillor Nero, and you're still got an email saying this is a no-brainer, or somebody else.
Councillor Turco,
Yep.
is there a question?
Yes, there is. Well,
Okay,
you
go
know,
ahead.
again, why we're not considering that as other cities have in Ontario, but no burning in backyards for no reason at all after midnight. You know.
Through the acting mayor to Mr. Turco, again, the report was kind of based on the fact that we received nuisance alarms. I didn't believe we were tasked to make a decision on whether open air burning should be banned entirely. But we certainly could look at that. We do regulate it. We have added things to the approval process to try to limit the amount of complaints we receive. You bring up the point about burning at later hours, and that we have recently added the fact that it has to be out by 11 o'clock to try to stop people from burning into the wee hours and creating complaints that way. So every year we review it, we try to add make additional regulations to address the things that come up over the course of the year.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Acting Mayor, on that one.
Is there any other questions regarding 5L? Councillor Butler and Councillor
Yes. Take us through, Mr. Milosevic, a complaint. The firefighters go to the scene of the complaint, and half have permits and half don't have permits. What happens to those who don't have permits? Do you immediately cease the burning, or fine them, or say, you have to take out a permit immediately? And what happens at in that situation?
Okay. Through the acting mayor to Mr. Butland, what we do is upon the next day, one of the inspectors will visit the individual that was burning without a permit. We review the complaint with them. We tell. Basically we educate them on the process at that point. Typically we would issue them what amounts to a warning letter. If they ask for a permit at that point, we tell them there's basically a 30-day penalty, if you will, that we won't issue them a permit for a period of 30 days as a punitive measure at that point. After 30 days they can apply if they meet the criteria and they're going to stay within the guidelines. We will issue them a permit. For the individuals that do have a permit that are burning outside of that, the process is somewhat similar. We issue them a letter. Upon another complaint generated in the same style, we could proceed with legal charges, and we have done that in the past.
Is there a heavier fine that those contravene what they're burning? Because I've had complaints over the years saying whatever they're burning, it's creating this odor, it's particulates all over the place, and it can't be healthy. Is there an added additional fine for those circumstances?
Through the acting mayor, no, not necessarily. What we do is we move the whole situation forward to provincial defenses court,
Okay.
and basically the JP will make it his decision on the severity of what, given the circumstances, and he'll make his decision on what the fine amount's going to be. He or she will make their decision on that.
Final question. I do have comments after questions, Mr. Acting Mayor. All of the initiatives that you've taken, and there should be lauded, but you say we have realized a minimal effect in terms of reduction. So I guess whatever we're trying isn't working?
Through the acting mayor to Mr. Budland, yeah, we can see this whole process has evolved over the last several years, where we have seen a reduction. In recent time, we're down to, in terms of last year, say 250 complaints, 260. In previous years, the permits are going up. The amount of complaints we have are basically about 5% with the people that do have permits. The severity of the violations or the burning outside the approval has kind of come down that way, but the amount of complaints we receive is basically staying the same. So we try to make it a little bit more restrictive every year, try to address those complaints, try to come up with a way, but at the end of the day, smoke is going to travel, and where there's smoke, we're going to have a certain amount of where there's fire, but there's going to be a certain amount of complaints where smoke's generated.
I'll have comments at the appropriate time, Mr. Acting Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Myers, please.
Thank you. Actually, I'm the one that asked for this report because I took this resolution forward in November because I'd had several constituents asking, could nothing be done? And I guess that what I'm noting here, Paul, through you, Acting Mayor, to Paul, it very clearly says in your first paragraph or first page of the report, the paragraph, the Ontario Fire Code, that the need for a municipal bylaw to regulate this activity is not required. You've discussed this matter with our city solicitor, who confirms that a separate bylaw is not necessary. And then I read on throughout the report and get the distinct feeling that at the same time, the guidelines that are there that we're leaning towards, that are put out by the provincial bodies, say things like that the permit states a common courtesy to neighbors is expected. Well, something like that doesn't have any teeth to it at all. And the complaints that I was getting are around, I guess that what I see, there's two aspects to this. There's what I'm going to call recreational, which is the outdoor fires that people who used to be around a campfire now want to do that in their backyard in the middle of a subdivision, versus the functional fire, I'll call it, for someone who wants to burn materials and so on. And I guess I'm going to ask you, the recommendations you've made, 4 of them, do you really feel that they give you the teeth I had fully expected when asking for this report, that there would be a bylaw that we would come up with? And you refer to the other municipalities, 70% of them with a governed bylaw and guidelines. So through you, Acting Mayor, to Paul, I really would like to know if you don't think that there should still be a bylaw considered.